The following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Let's set off on a fresh trail using both old and new information about Parandisi. How does a world maintain a balance between good and evil? What happens when that balance shifts? Let's start exploring the answers in this episode. Enjoy the podcast.
Hi, and welcome to The Shed for Adventures from the Shed. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Search us up on the internets. You know, we actually have a few things out there on YouTube as well. We have some videos from a long time ago and from not so long ago. You can see us and see where we play here in The Shed. Of course, find us on iTunes and Facebook as well.
I like the creepy ones.
The creepy ones?
Those are fun.
I like.
Or you're wearing the black mask with the red.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was the
Halloween episode.
Yeah,
that was
a good one.
And we're back here with our Dungeon World campaign, A New Frontier, and we're going to go around the table and say hi, starting with this dude.
Hey, this is Chris. I'm playing Uriel, your friendly neighborhood immolator.
Well, this is Mike playing Laramie Burnsteel, Paladin Josiah. Go Joe.
Go Joe.
And this is Kurt. I am playing the Human Ranger Breton, who's got a little bit of rogue in him.
Ew.
And this is
She could be a cute rogue.
Bridget playing Lenore.
What class
cleric.
is Lenore? Okay, that's cool. What, is she in a cult or something?
No,
Blood cleric.
Okay, cool.
not a cult.
Totally
Not a
cult.
cult. And I am Joe. I am the game master for our Dungeon World campaign. We're going to get a recap. Let's do kind of like a roundtable collaborative recap here. I want to do a recap of our days so far because we've actually been on 3 adventures already. We're about to kick off the 4th, and that means this group of adventurers, these 4 specifically, have been together doing some pretty dangerous stuff and building some memories for a couple of months now in game time. I'll start with you, Chris. What do you remember from early on?
Well, the first adventure was when Breton was framed for murdering an elven princess from the Wild Mist Elves.
It seems so long
outside
ago
of
now.
Iraq. Yeah, it does. It seems like months ago. It turned out to be it was Eric Hawthorne from the Hawthorne family, who was one of the administrators and teachers of the I can't remember preparatory school, Bloomfield Preparatory School. I believe.
Bloomfield.
Bloomfield.
Yeah, he wanted some land that the elves had, and was trying to get some people out of the way to make a big stink boat. So we shut him down.
Shut them
So
down.
that was pretty nice.
That's good.
And
Bridget,
we got to
what
hook
do
up. We got to hook up with the elves now too. It's cool.
Yeah, that's a good point. The elves of the Wild Mist clan. Elves don't have clans, do they?
I mean, it
What would
depends.
an elf group be? Like a flock or something? It's got to be something.
I mean, I guess it depends if they're like wood elves, then maybe clan would be appropriate. But if they're like high elves, then they probably have something like fancier.
What if they're wood elves who get high?
Oh, they totally do.
That's why they're called Wild Mist.
So, Bridget, what do you remember after that?
After that, I believe we were tasked with solving the mystery of disappearing travelers visiting
yeah.
the ruins of a castle.
Yeah.
And we found that it was actually a necromancer who was capturing people and making them into zombies.
Creating his undead army to rule the world.
Or that.
And you guys foiled it. Kurt, how did you guys foil that? Do you remember?
Yeah, so the Necromancer had all the zombies and skeletons with him and the giant bone dragon, and Breton, with the assistance of Uriel, the immolator, who lit Breton's arrows with fire, shot the Necromancer through his, as you called it, the nose socket.
hole. Yeah.
And
socket.
killing him, it kind of dissolved or crumbled the bone dragon and defeated the magic. But that wasn't the last we heard of the castle.
No.
Because now we have sent many, many, many somewhat friendly dire rats or giant rats to go live there.
They're just hungry.
And we got
Mike,
some
how did
sweet
we
loot.
How did we meet the rats?
So, in the next episode, we were tasked with cleaning out the sewer of rats of unusual size. And when we went to investigate them, that we found that they were being controlled by Stinky Joe,
Joe.
who is also a were-rat.
Stinky Joe, who you may recall from Breton's Night in Jail.
Yes.
So once we tracked down Stinky Joe, we chased him into the sewers and captured him and basically took him up to be reformed.
Yeah.
By putting a silver arrow on him that causes him to not be able to transform. And the rats were tasked in going to the now abandoned castle in the woods So now that castle will be full of giant rats.
It's a great place for rats to live, I would think.
Yeah.
And it was a good idea.
Plenty to eat out there right now.
Yeah. Leftovers.
Better than under the streets of Harak.
Yeah. So where would the party be a few weeks after the rat episode? What might you guys be up to?
Laramie's eating barbecue again.
Well, for sure.
Well, you're rebuilding.
Yeah, I'm
the
just saying.
fort.
I'm just trying to rope you guys in to help set up the new forge over at her.
I would definitely help you since I
Right
would be
across the
over
street.
at my infirmary.
So one day while the group is together putting some of the finishing touches, that extra bit of paint over the doorway, what is it, like P2, Prometheus's new forge or something like
P
that?
squared.
Yeah.
P squared.
Put a horseshoe up there because, good luck. Because the luck
Yeah.
goes
Yeah, because
into
the dragon
horseshoe.
head's over at the other place in Valshon.
Okay. So while you guys are putting the finishing touches up there, there's one piece that you notice up in the corner, or one part of the shop up in the corner where you guys hadn't actually messed around yet, rebuilding or fixing stuff up. You see a symbol, and it looks like it's made of gold. And Uriel, as you get closer to it, you realize it's the same symbol that you saw reappearing over and over in Gerald's notes, and it was also found in the Wizard's Journal. That it matches the symbol that was found in multiple places, but the places that were linked to Gerald and that wizard in the workshop.
Gotcha.
And everywhere you saw that symbol, where are parts that you and Prometheus have been trying to figure out that look like the legendary thing that Jolly Gerald was trying to construct, a legendary weapon. So wherever you see that symbol in his journal is a mixture, an alloy of some type that he thought might be special. And in the Wizard's Journal, you see that symbol, and it has Gerald's name next to it, and it mentions enchantment of alloy or something like that. It all seems to point to a link between the wizard and Gerald that you knew was there, but this symbol is up in the corner of the shop.
Okay. Interesting.
And it's in gold, and it looks like it's embedded in a couple of wooden beams up in the corner.
Can I pull it out, or is it really stuck
Yeah,
in there?
you could
pretty
pry
good?
it out.
All right.
But it looks like it was put up there maybe as, I don't know, like a reminder or something. But it's out of the way. You've been working in there for weeks, and the first you notice it was the first time up on the ladder in that corner, maybe to clean out a cobweb or something.
All right.
It just caught your eye.
Excellent.
Does it give an evil vibe?
So this symbol is a star, and it's a star inside of a circle, but it's a star with many points. It's clearly meant to be a star, but it's not like a 5-pointed or 6-pointed. It looks like, 15, 20 points. Every time you turn it a little, it catches the light different, and it glints in different ways. But from the evil perspective, as far as the paladin is able to tell, parts of it are evil, but you can't quite make it out. So sometimes when you hold it up to a light a certain way and it reflects the light, that light is dark to you. And in other times it seems fine. So it's like somewhat balanced between good and evil, but there's definitely evil in it. You just can't pinpoint where it is.
Interesting.
Ah.
Might be something I need to talk to Prometheus about.
Could be. Could be anybody tries to figure it out because it's a symbol.
Is it one that any of us recognize, or do we need
That's
to
a
spout
spout
lore?
lore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could we spout lore?
Oh, you can always, because
We
what
can.
that is your character drawing upon your own knowledge of what the heck's going on.
But what if
And remember, the more people that roll, the more chances of failure, because y'all ain't so bright. We're pretty wise.
Oh, no, yeah, Spout Lord.
You're
Is
very
it
wise.
wisdom?
With
Yeah,
the
intelligence.
Spout Lore's intelligence.
I got a
Intelligence?
plus
I got a
0,
10
I
now.
got a 10.
I got a 10 with a plus 0 as well.
I got a 10
And I saw
with
how
a
they all
plus
rolled,
1.
so I'm not rolling.
I'm not doing it.
All right. So between the three of you, you don't know anything, but Breton has a lot of it. No, just kidding.
Breton was wise enough not to roll.
All right, so actually, this kind of plays in that Breton wasn't there at the time. But the other, so with Laramie, you recognize this symbol as something that was an ancient, like a yin-yang symbol of the good and evil chasing each other in some endless circle. Both Lenore and Uriel recognize this symbol as being in the underground, the menagerie of mutated skeletons. That symbol was found in several areas down there. And altogether, you recognize this is a symbol of, call it ancient power, but power that's supposed to keep things neutral. So it's a power of peace. And that's what you gather out of it altogether. And it was just a symbol itself. It wasn't used by any specific peoples for any reason or any real purpose. It was just something to say everything's okay here, like the yin-yang thing.
Now, you're the expert in being a blacksmith. So what would the benefit be for having peaceful alloys?
Well, to bring balance, you can have a weapon that's evil or good, but you can have a weapon that's both.
That seems like it would be really beneficial. Because then, if it's a holy weapon, you're only going to vanquish evil with it. You can't vanquish good with a holy weapon, right?
Well,
but why would you want to vanquish
You're
good?
not trying too hard, I guess.
But yeah, a weapon with good balance would make sense, I would think. Yeah.
I guess.
It's all about balance in the universe.
I mean, do we need to put it back?
No.
It sounds like something Trillium would say.
I want to hold on to this.
Yeah, it does sound like something Trillium would say. Balance in the universe. As she's riding a horse.
I miss her.
No, she doesn't ride a horse. She's ridden.
She is a horse.
Yeah. So it was more of a decoration kind of thing. Something like if you had a favorite symbol or something, you might just put up on the wall, like a favorite painting or something that reminds you of a good thing. And that looks like what this was for Gerald. Probably the kind of thing where every now and then he could just glance up in the corner and remind himself what he's there for, like inspiration.
But it seems like he didn't want everybody to know about it.
Well, it's kind of an ancient thing. People might view it as witchcraft or something like that. Who knows? Because it's something that isn't common. Plus, the history it seems to have with Harak, with the stuff you guys saw underground, that wasn't necessarily happy history.
Yeah.
Where people are doing genetic tampering with, wyverns and griffins and bears and lions.
Oh, my.
Uh-huh.
I mean, maybe we should put it back. That guy was jolly, and you don't seem very jolly. Maybe you need all the jolly you can get.
Well, I'll keep it close by then.
All right.
It will cause balance. So, what do you want to do with that? Anything? Not with it, but with the information. You want to do anything with it?
For me, I'd probably go back to the books, to see if anything matches up, or to see if it's anything weird. If if light shining off this symbol onto the books reveals anything else,
Okay.
like hidden passages or whatever.
Anybody else have any ideas, or want to just jump straight to that?
Well, can I come up with something here?
Of course.
Yeah.
That maybe we took the books to my order, because my order's all about mysteries and stuff.
Yep.
You have a cult, too?
Well,
I knew she'd admit it eventually. You owe me money.
I mean,
it's
you have an order?
it's a following.
Yeah, see, now you understand. I have
I
a following,
totally
too.
understand. I've never once called your lovely people a cult.
And see, now, that's a bond with you.
There you go.
And
Well done.
maybe we'd take it over there. Maybe they
Sure.
would know some stuff. Maybe they could help us use the book with it.
Who's in charge there? Who's the leader of your order?
I mean, he's just the mighty Joe.
The Mighty Joe.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good guy.
Yeah,
like him.
he's like the head of the Paladin Order.
Of course.
Is he an old guy or is he young?
Well,
Is
I mean-
Mighty Joe young, probably?
he's mighty Joe Young.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mighty Joe not old.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so he can take the information, so the books he already has and the symbol, and he does I guess you'd call it a ritual, but I don't think paladins really are associated with rituals. He just does a thing.
Yeah.
You hear him murmuring Josiah a few times, and there's a light that comes from the symbol onto the page, and it's like invisible ink starts to light up, similar to what Uriel had thought it might be. and it's almost like, not necessarily a prophecy, but cryptic in a way. There's writing that comes up that essentially says, find the fire that forges, guarded by the mighty beast. And Mighty Joe Young, he recognizes that if it's the fire that he is familiar with from ancient times, there's a dormant volcano quite a bit away. This is like a week's travel from Harak. But it was rumored that there were things that there were mighty forges once upon a time by the dwarves in this volcano. And maybe that's what it's talking about, because it's really old stuff.
Well, that's the best lead we got on this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So maybe between the wizard and Gerald, they were trying to find the forge. A way to make this thing happen. So off to the volcano?
Yeah, and
Actually, that's very interesting, because I wonder if Drummond knew about it, because he's a dwarf.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why he offed Gerald.
Oh, man.
Keep him from it.
He's on the list.
Yeah. The fires of Mount Doomas.
That's good. That's canon.
It is so.
It is Mount
written,
Doomas.
Mount
So-
Doomas.
Let me make that note here.
And I explained to Mighty Joe Young that I know I've been away from the order a little bit with this party, but I seem to be doing good, and this might be important if I go with them. So I need to have a little bit more time away from the order.
Your time is granted.
Thank you, sir.
Go, Joe.
Go, Joe.
That's awesome.
Go forth and be Joe. That's the full Go Joe, abbreviated from that.
And also with your
Somebody-
Joe.
What would Joe do?
If you guys get mad, is like, go Joe yourself or something?
Peace be with you, and also with your Joe.
Quit showing yourself.
WWJD bracelets.
That's awesome.
Okay, I got my notes here for the Mount Doomas. So it's about a week's travel, and there could be anything along the road and through the woods, because you're going to go over the
Anything
river,
perilous?
through the woods, and I would say overall it amounts to a perilous journey.
Much too
Yes.
perilous.
Yay! I'll
And
be
it-
quartermaster again.
And at this time, everybody can participate, so 3 out of the 4.
Sweet.
Do
Perhaps
you want to be
our
involved?
Head scout could do a scouting.
I'm happy to do that.
He who
Yay,
scouts heads.
scout.
Make Cloud be the scout and the quartermaster and
Yes,
translator.
that's an advanced
She's
ranger
being
move.
lazy.
As an advanced ranger move, you can have your pet do everything.
She eats all the food, gets lost, and falls asleep.
All right, so let's start with the scout, please. Roll
Okay.
plus wisdom.
9.
9. And then the trailblazer, please.
Me or you? You want to go?
All right, I'll trailblaze. It's wisdom, so I'm good.
He's a fire guy.
I mean,
Niner.
You
Yeah,
blaze in your own
Nine.
way.
Yeah.
And then quartermaster.
Quartermaster or quartermistress.
Quartermasteress.
Quarter compass.
Oh, you guys be
6.
You guys be starving.
Sorry, guys.
Well, I did eat all the food.
All right.
Really bloody,
Yeah.
nasty food.
So along
It's
the
all
way,
raw. Sorry.
you're able to find your way there without any real problems. One day, there's a couple of wild boars that get in your way, and you're able to scare them off without necessarily having to kill them. Although you might want to kill them, I don't know.
I'm hungry.
And later on in the week, you probably think maybe we should have killed them and eaten them because we're out of food. And you arrive at the foot of Mount Doomas with gurgling stomachs and hunger.
Sorry, I was feeding the chipmunks. They were really cute.
I mean,
I don't get out in the woods much, so.
I guess
We're
that's
eating those chipmunks on the way
understandable.
back, by the way. You fattened them up.
So we are
They were
going
just
to,
really cute.
until we find a way around it, we are going to start this adventure as everybody having a -1 to everything you do. Yeah.
I'm
You're
really
Way to go,
very
sorry.
Master.
hungry. You're exhausted and hungry.
I start to eye up Cloud, licking my lips.
Could Cloud go get us some? Stop, Dad! He's kicking me.
Oh boy.
Stop touching me.
So you're there at the volcano. It's a dormant volcano. I put that in air quotes. I don't know why. It's a dormant volcano. If it
'Cause
wasn't
we heard
dormant,
the air quotes.
Well, yeah. If it wasn't dormant, it would be active. In which case, you'd be walking into an active volcano. That doesn't seem right.
We can make it active.
Yeah, you must be loving this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that would be like the end goal of all immolators is to make a volcano active.
Burn the earth, man. Come
Dude, is
on.
that your level 10 move? Like, create a volcano?
It is called Watch the World Burn, so you got to watch out for that.
So, yeah, you're there. It's a volcano, so there's at least one clear way in. In the top.
So this used to be a dwarven forge, so there's going to be like
there should be something else around.
a worked entrance by dwarves and all that
Okay.
stuff. Look at
Any
this.
activity or anything?
No. I mean, nothing right now, at least. You guys seem to be the only ones there. So in the side of the volcano, there is a clear entrance. To Chris's point, it's like worked. There's an entrance that is framed by big stone blocks, and there's carvings in the blocks and Dwarvish, if anybody happens to know Dwarvish. No, there isn't a language on your sheets, but this is a character thing. Would your character know Dwarvish for any reason? Probably not.
Is that symbol anywhere in these
voice
carvings?
transcends language.
Say that again, Mike.
I have a voice that transcends language.
So if you
But this
talk to
is-
the rocks, if they were able to talk back,
If I would, yeah. I mean, I could understand Dormish if it was being spoken to me.
The symbol is actually found right above the entrance. It's right in the middle, in the top of the entrance. And it's the same kind of thing as you look at it. It's like the star has 15 points, and it has 14, then it has 18. And as you look at it, it seems to shift.
Gotcha.
But it always seems normal. Nothing
Or does it
crazy.
look different points depending who's looking at it?
It depends who's evil.
Was
Nobody.
everybody
We
looking
did
at me?
actually.
Was everyone looking at me?
Laramie had determined that no one in the party was evil last time. At least as a
Jeremy.
literal technicality. Well, no one in the party. Yeah, Jeremy the jeweler, however, he's
Still
hiding
very
something.
evil.
Yeah.
Is he your evil twin, Jeremy?
So the
Jeremy
entrance
and
has
Laramie.
it's like partially caved in. There's a lot of rubble around, but you can still make your way through.
All right.
And since it's open, of course, anybody over the years could have made their way through.
Oh, I'm sure it's been looted, over
But,
the centuries.
You get in there, and it's dark as you get in, and it does get a little warmer. There's like a warm breeze that's coming out of the volcano.
It was pretty nice.
So there's definitely some heat going on inside. The pathway opens up, and it goes in different directions, and all of the ceilings are relatively short. So the highest ceiling in any given area is maybe 7 feet tall, so most people could just reach up and hit the ceiling with their hand. Most places, you don't have to crouch every now and then to get from one room to another. The opening might be a little shorter, so you might have to crouch to get into the next area. But it's a lot of well-worked hallways, and it's almost like a maze getting in. However, there's one hallway that is bigger, wider, and actually has tracks on it, like for mining. Like there was a cart at one point on the tracks. And that goes right up to the entrance, and you didn't see it at first because it was partially caved in, but once you get like 20 feet in or so, you can see the tracks on the ground. They're mostly busted up, but there was definitely mining going on here as well.
Breton, do you sense or see that anyone's been here recently, or does Cloud pick up any scent of someone recent? Of living things, or not so living?
There is nothing obvious, but if you would like to make a roll, I would just do it as a defy danger, because you're not tracking anything yet. But I would do it as a defy danger with wisdom, or if you want to discern realities, to ask the questions. But we can make it as simple as I can tell you if there are any tracks at all by just a defy danger with wisdom.
10.
Is it 10?
Or if Cloud picks up on a scent,
It's
that's
same,
not us.
Yeah, same idea. There is definitely the trail of something relatively fresh that goes right down the main shaft, right where the rails are. And something has been through here recently. They didn't leave, whatever it was, didn't leave footprints per se in the rubble, in the dust, but there are markings. So like, I don't want to say claws because it's not claws, but think of just if you were walking just on the tips of claws, there's like dents, but not footprints, not hoof prints, not paw prints, but some kind of print in the ground.
Stilts.
Somebody walked through.
Would it
a
make
city.
sense to do a
Stilts.
discern realities as well, or is that too much?
It always makes sense to roll dice.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, maybe would I know if it's like something unnatural that made those?
Breton could easily identify that it is no creature that he is familiar with, so probably not natural.
Okay.
And Cloud gives that little the sound that Cloud normally makes when it's like, I don't want to track that, because Cloud's stubborn to begin with.
Correct.
And Cloud, when there's something that she doesn't want to go after, it's usually because she thinks that it's mean and doesn't want to deal with that. And that's what you get out of this. It's like, do I have to?
Okay.
I guess can I like think back to my travels, because I deal with a lot of unnatural things
Okay.
on what this could definitely be.
Let's do a spout lore. Something you might or might not know. That's intelligentsia.
I mean, it's a 7. 7's good.
The 7 means you get a little bit of information. This is, from the way it's spread out and the way the marks are on the ground, it looks like it might have been something flying that when it dipped in its flight, it had to touch the ground just a little bit and then back up because the ceilings aren't that high. So it's something that wasn't walking, but more like something that was flying that just scraped the ground as it went by.
All right. I will explain that to the party.
Yeah, some kind of flying creature. And you've seen pictures of flying creatures with claws.
Like a griffin?
Yeah, like a griffin or hippogriff or
A dragon.
a dragon.
Well, there.
I will also keep an eye on the
Chaos.
ceiling just to make sure that
For
nothing's crawling up
dragons
there.
and yeah. It could even just be a big bird.
Yeah.
But
Could be.
definitely some kind of the thing's flying, and as it dips in its flight before it goes back up, that looks like how these markings are made. And since it doesn't look like anything natural, then yeah, it's probably one of those other bad things,
All right.
or typically thought of as bad things.
Move on
Anything
in.
else?
Closet.
It is a closet. It came out of the closet.
Well, should we follow the path?
Yeah.
You just wanna
Yep.
go
I guess so.
Yeah,
go
further
right
in.
up the middle. All right.
I have my bow just kind of drawn. and
Is there any? What kind of sound is in here? Is it?
Any sound you make just echoes like you're
So it's
in
really
a
that,
cave.
okay.
Yeah. Now there is some of the sound seems to be muffled because the warm air is coming up at you, so it's like things are probably carried behind you, but not necessarily in front.
Okay.
But you should probably, in that respect, you probably would hear things up in front of you before
Gotcha.
you'd hear something coming from behind you, kind of thing.
That's pretty good.
But it is so. This pathway is only about 10 feet wide and about 8 feet high, and it is just straight, gradually sloping down. The floor is relatively clear except for larger rocks, because smaller ones would mostly just roll down. And as you get probably you forward maybe 100 feet, down maybe 20 feet because of the slope, it's much warmer, and you can actually see off in the distance the warm glow of probably lava.
But the floor is not lava.
No, it is
No,
not.
it's a floor
I
lava.
I think you would notice before you stepped into lava, so I wouldn't force that on
All
you.
right.
Okay.
But it's definitely getting warmer and hotter, and you can see that's where you're headed for.
Oh, it's like a game I heard of once.
Keep off the floor,
Warm,
or the floor
warmer,
is lava.
hot.
Oh,
hot,
that one.
Burning hot.
There's that one too.
So the hotter we get, the closer we are to what we need.
Hey, I like the logic. So you first. Run.
I'll just use some icy hot.
I see that. Yes, the healing spell. So how do you want to move forward? Because you are moving forward, but how do you want to move forward?
Well, how wide is the hall?
About 10 feet wide, 7 feet tall ish.
So we can go all four, right?
Oh yeah, you can
Yeah.
probably go side by
All
side.
right, we're gonna Wizard of Oz this thing right up.
Can we lock arms and do the rockets kick?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You have to skip and sing though.
Wizard of Oz
Yeah, that's
style.
exactly.
Yeah. Follow the red hot road.
It works. So farther down, as you're approaching the lava, the whole thing just kind of opens up into the center of the volcano, and the path that you were on just kind of goes down into the lava. Like the lava wasn't always this high. There was probably something else going on. And what you see up above, looking around you into this big center, are different pathways above, walkways, and It looks like that they just crisscross, like this was a whole big business and city or whatever at some point in time. But this is a very large mountain, big volcano.
So when you said we're walking down into the lava,
Yeah,
you
but
mean
you're
the
not going to
path.
reach the lava. The path goes into the lava as if the lava years ago was a lot lower.
Gotcha.
So they probably mined to the point where they may have cut into the lava and then it flowed up and they had to get out.
Right.
Something like that. So you can't go any farther on the path you're on, but there are things up above and around. There's different pathways.
Uh-oh.
Like I said.
Are we going to have to climb?
Maybe. I mean, it's also easy enough to say you
assume
can just
there's
go back
stairwells
and
and
find
stuff.
another way around. But
Oh.
whatever you were following went through here. Because that was the path
Now,
you were following. Now,
can you
I did
see-
mention it was flying,
Right.
so of course it could go through. And
Now you said we can see the lava
Yep.
in front of us. So can we see up?
yeah, you
Like
can see
it's
up to
sky.
daylight. Now it's a small hole up there,
Right.
But so it's not like the whole top of the mountain was blown off, or if it was recovered. in
Right.
some
So,
way.
but we can see that.
Yeah.
So something could have flown straight
and
out.
out, yeah.
Okay.
How far up is it to the opening?
It looks like forever. It looks like a small opening up there, but the scale is hard to judge because it's dark, and then the lava brightness, but then daylight all the way up at the top. Best guess, 1,000 feet maybe. It's way up there.
And it would be a really bad climb because it'd be
If you were trying to go all the way to the
closing
top,
in.
yeah. But anybody here with a decent amount of dexterity would probably be able to throw a rope 20 or 30 feet up to one of the other walkways and just be able to keep moving in this direction. Or you just go back and
I was
circle
saying,
around.
I would have to circle back because I'm
I think it'd be
Can't
really,
climb
not
a
very
rope?
I think it'd
dexterous.
be really cool to climb rope over
Yeah.
lava.
I want to climb a rope.
It's not.
I'll go
dangerous
first.
at
Okay,
all.
well, I'm not going.
I'll get
that
the
way.
rope. I'll get the rope going.
Can aid you.
So we're just doing a dexterity check to see if I can
yeah,
latch on.
somebody will throw the rope over first because the danger, of course, is you miss and your rope burns up.
Dexterity. It's a
Dexterity.
6. No, sorry.
Seven.
It's 8. 8. Oh my god.
I didn't think you had a
I was
negative
like,
one. Yeah, so you're able to throw the rope over, and you could try and climb up there.
all right.
And I'll say that you can just do that. I don't know if anybody else wants to do it.
I'm there.
So you climb up, and you can see both ends of the passageway you're on lead into like mountain tunnels.
Okay.
And you can see down one end, you see the reflection of two like saucer-shaped eyes looking out at you from that end.
All right. I'll
Some
pay.
kind of animalistic type of eyes.
I'll
that
keep pay. I'll
reflection.
keep looking that way.
Okay.
I would probably
Just there. You're muted.
You're muted.
Unmute and say again.
I would probably climb up to be with Uriel.
Okay.
I'm fairly dexterous.
He already got the rope there, so you're up. I just wanted to
You
get
have
one,
to. You have
one
to,
roll to make
you have
something
to put
happen.
cloud on your back or strap her.
Yeah,
I just throw her up there. It's like 10 feet.
No, 10 feet is nothing.
I take her like
So
5
we
minutes
don't
carry
have
on
to
my back.
roll to get up there.
No, once the rope was there. I'm not looking
Okay.
for everyone to roll to use up time. I just
All
want to
right.
make sure that somebody... There's a chance of something bad happening. That
Yeah,
chance
right.
already passed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Now, the 7 to 9 result meant that the thing that you could have avoided saw you, and it's just watching you now.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to keep an eye on to see
Yeah.
if those eyes move or stay there.
There's an occasional blink, but
Okay.
stays there.
How big are the eyes?
Saucer-sized. Big eyes. And it has the stereotypical milky white look of something that spent its whole life underground kind of thing. You know, that look that you get from like the big moles or something like that. They can't actually see, but they have eyes kind of
Right.
thing. It's that look.
We try to keep climbing.
Well, you guys all get up to that ledge.
We need to go. I say we go down that hallway
Yeah.
and see what it is.
And go check it out.
Yeah.
As you get closer, as soon as you take a few steps towards it, so you, by the way, you're on this walkway
Right.
that doesn't have railings or anything,
Gotcha.
but it's wide enough for one or two dwarves or people to walk side by side along it. And if you're sure-footed, nothing matters. And if you're sure-footed, even if something comes at you, you're probably fine. But if you're not too dexterous, you're probably nervous walking above the lava.
We can go single file.
Yeah.
To hide our numbers.
I've got like my back to the wall and I'm like,
There's
There's no wall.
oh, there's no wall.
No.
It's just
Just
like
a walkway.
We're basically walking
Walkway?
on something
A
this
stone
wide.
walkway
Like a bridge.
over. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a bridge. Yes.
Okay.
A
Ooh.
bridge over troubled
Well, then I'm
lava.
using my staff as like a balance pole, like a
Yep.
tightrope walker, because I'm
Troubled lava.
really, really not.
Bridge over
Thank
troubled
you,
lava.
Kurt.
That's a title.
Bridge over trouble, blah, blah.
So as you walk halfway across to where the eyes are, it steps forward, and it looks like a griffin with huge eyes, and it's about as tall as you are.
Oh, it's a beanie griffin.
Is it the rare wide-eyed griffin?
It's a rare wide-eyed griffin, apparently. Now
Breton.
where it normally looks like, well, actually, what character knows what a griffin looks like? Not necessarily the person, but use your character to describe what you think a griffin looks like before I go do it.
Whale. It is essentially a lion that has an eagle head and eagle wings. And this one is the rare wide-eyed griffin. So it has giant wide eyes.
Yes. So that's the normal look for a griffin. What you didn't expect was the scales along its back. And it has big golden scales on its back.
Did they look like your shield?
They're in the shape like the shields, but they're much smaller. Because his shield is a single, 3 foot by 4 foot scale, and this thing is about that big from neck to tail. So it's not the same scale.
I pull out the gold symbol and show it to the griffin.
Okay. It doesn't get any closer, and it doesn't back away. It just watches. It's a watcher, if you will. It is currently watching.
Oh,
Breton.
hence the huge eyes.
It could
I mean,
be.
perhaps
Talk to this thing,
Breton
man?
could talk to him.
I don't think so. I think I would have to have the talk to monsters, which is the higher level. skill.
I want to hear you talk to it and see. Just the look on Kurt's face. What do I say to
What do
this
you say
thing?
to a griffin if you don't speak griffin?
Hey, buddy.
I would always start with hello.
Hello is probably a good idea.
I'd offer him some food, but we ate it all.
Well, I go from is a griffin an animal?
We could ask him for food.
It is.
I go from animals to the next level up is I can speak with any non-magical, non-planar creature.
Yeah. I mean, this thing, for our purposes in game, the griffin is a magical creature.
You could still try.
You
Well,
can
yeah,
still try to
sure.
talk to it. So, what do you try to say?
Why, greetings,
Why?
wise watcher griffin.
So you're familiar with a lot of animal tongues, and it seems to speak something mixed between bird and cat.
Oh, well, I know both bird and cat.
But it's a mixture, and it's like it's fighting itself while it's talking.
It's like Spanglish, but
It's-
for cats and birds.
It's
But
more
that's
like
more easy to
French
understand.
German.
Yeah,
Oh.
more like Furman.
So you're saying it's like a
Furman.
genetically modified mystical creature.
It could be, but it's more the idea being you can't quite understand it. If it spoke one or the other, you could get it, but the way it's speaking, it's almost like what was the term that used to be speaking juice? I think is what it was called in the 80s or something like that, where you just said random words. It sounds like
Jive.
the thing is random words, not jive, because stewardess, I speak jive.
Well, I'm going to tell it that we don't mean it any harm. In case it
Yeah.
understands me, we don't mean it any harm, and we're just going to climb on our way if it's okay with him.
You get no real answer that you can understand.
Right.
So it's saying things like, dog, ice cream, fence monkey.
Is it saying things like puppy monkey baby?
Sure, as long as you don't understand what that means. Yes.
Puppy monkey baby.
But there are words in there and syllables that sound like words, but it's nothing that makes clear sense to you.
Okay.
So we have a very confused griffin.
More that the ranger doesn't understand the griffin. The griffin itself doesn't appear confused at all.
Yeah.
It might have just said, I'm about to kill and eat you. You should get out of here right now.
It might
I just
have.
don't know.
It has made no aggressive moves, gestures. The scales on its back don't stand up.
It might have said, I just ate a ginormous pot brownie and just want to chill here. Leave me alone.
Did you see my eyes, dude? Dude.
So we can't get around it if we want to go that way.
If you want to walk that way, no, you cannot walk around it.
All right. I guess we're going the other way.
If I tell it we come in peace, does my voice come out as that mixture of cat and bird?
So the way I see that skill of a voice that transcends language is your voice stays the same, but it's understood no matter what you say.
Okay.
So the other thing doesn't have to understand your language to know what it is you're communicating.
Okay.
So
That's the way
you
I
just
see it.
communicate chill.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the answer is yes. It would understand it.
Because I don't see it as you can speak any language. It's that when you speak, anything of any language understands you.
Yeah, I just think I think in the first episode that I was here, I spoke to a zombie, and it came out to everyone else as sounding like a zombie. So I'm wondering if I sound like
Well, that's
me.
because you were old.
Oh, that's,
It's different
that's
now.
what it
You're
was.
younger now.
Yeah, that's old man
Yeah,
voice.
that's
Yeah.
old man voice.
Exactly. You sounded like a zombie because you were too old.
But yeah, I just sort of assure that we come in peace.
Okay.
What's going on here? Yeah, all right.
So
We mean you no
this is
harm.
an interesting dynamic that it understands everything you say, and Kurt can't or Breton can't understand anything it says. So nobody understands it, but he hears gibberish, and everyone else will just hear little squawky, eagly noises, and minor noises. It's not like screeching and piercing your ears or anything. It's conversational clicks of the beak, just little sounds.
Can we get tone?
when you finish talking with what you've communicated that you're here in peace and you just want to go about checking things out, it actually steps to the side and bows its head, and that's it. That's the motion.
Aww.
I guess we'll go up, or at least I'll go up by it, and when I pass by it, I'll give it a little
Give it a pat. I thought you were
little
gonna say
pat
you
on the
can
head,
shove it up
little
the side.
little scratch in the head.
Nice little griffin.
Okay. You do that, it allows you to pass. When you touch it, it is unnaturally cold. I mean, you're standing over lava and everything seems warm. And when you touch it, it's like you're touching cold ice stone, like a frozen stone. That's what it feels like.
Ooh, I
It
want to
doesn't-
pet it.
It doesn't feel like feathers and scales. It just feels hard and
I'm going to
cold.
pet it.
But it looks like feathers and stuff.
It looks just like a griffin that has scales on its back. So a genetically modified mythical creature.
I assure
Those
that,
GMOs,
that she's
I'm telling
cool.
you.
Yeah.
She's cool. She can pet. So
Okay. Mister, can I pet
you're in
your
the
griffin?
you're in the clear.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it feels weird. It's bizarre because you expect
It
it
is.
to be
it's bizarre.
soft and hard, but definitely not cold.
Right. So you can all get past.
Yep.
Yay.
I tell it we'll be right back.
We'll be right
Just-
back
Just relax, buddy. We'll be right back.
right after these messages. So after you pass the griffin and get through the doorway on the other side, it looks like what's in that part was a smithy. There's a forge. There is tools on the walls. There are bits of metal all around, bits of metal that were worked, bits of metal that were unworked, some ingots in different spots. It seems like a well-organized smithy where nothing is over about 6 feet off the ground, where everything is set for somebody short to be able to
Dwarfs.
reach. And yeah, all the work surfaces are maybe 2 feet off the ground instead of 3 feet off the ground. So it was built for the people who lived and worked here. But it is a forge, and it appears, based on the way it's all set up, that the heat is just coming from below. So there's no spot here to create a fire. It looks like the bellows would just draw heat from below and push into the spot that needs to be hot. I don't know all the right terms for a blacksmith shop.
Does it look like that they left in a hurry, that there was something they were working on, or does it look like everything's nice and put away, cleaned up, and all that stuff?
Half and half. It definitely looks like someone left here while they were working on something. But it could. It's kind of like 5 o'clock hit and everyone just punched out and left.
Yeah.
But it could also be they left in a hurry because there's a lot of organization, and then there's this piece that is just sitting on top of an anvil and tongs with a hammer right next to it. So somebody could have just left it and ran. You might not do that at the end of your shift. You probably still put stuff away.
Let's see what it is.
It's not like
Is there-
no explosion happened in here.
Yeah,
or
right.
anything.
Gotcha.
Whatever the last thing was being worked on looked like either a hatchet or some other small axe type of thing.
So nothing unique.
Doesn't look like. I mean, there's plenty of stuff hanging around that nothing of any particular value, considering over the centuries anybody could have come in and taken stuff if
sure.
they got past the watcher. If they were really polite.
Yeah.
Now, you have some knowledge of blacksmith and arts. Would there be any like like trademark on these things that you would know? Oh, this is a famous blacksmith that I know.
Well, it could just be that symbol on everything that we've seen. I don't know. For these dwarves, I don't know what they put on, or if they put like a personal hallmark
So they're
on it.
the tools themselves have a dwarven mark on them, but it's not the same as the symbol.
Okay.
So this was some clan where they had a mark, and that mark is found on their tools. But it looks like any of the finished products that were worthwhile are probably gone because nothing hanging around has that symbol on it right now.
Okay.
The tools, though, the hammer that was being used, the tongs to hold the metal, they have this mark from the dwarves. And, it's very sharp angles, and it probably spells out a few dwarven letters. And since you can't speak to that either, you can't really tell what they say. But it would be the symbol of whatever clan lived here at the time.
And there's no notes or books or anything that would be helpful to us.
Now, chances are anything that would be out in the open and useful has been stolen by now.
Okay.
But you're always welcome to search around.
Yeah, I was going to say I want to look to see if there's some secret compartments or something somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
definitely.
like a discern reality.
Oh, like crap today.
A poop roll. Is everybody going to be looking around?
Sure.
I mean, before we get much further here, let me
Somebody
ask
else
that
might get
question,
it.
because if so, then I want to do the same thing again, where we roll.
Oh, I mean, I'll take the failure.
we
I guess,
roll
but-
but what I'm saying is we can all roll a die and pick the best two, rather than whatever you were just
I
doing.
mean,
Oh,
it seems
yeah, I got
important for us to do that.
Yeah.
So let's have all four people, so you can undo whatever roll you just did, and each person roll one die, and we'll take the best two out of the four. What do we got?
6.
Ooh,
It's you two this
All
time.
right, so yeah, the opposite two from the last successful roll was Kurt and Mike. This time it's Bridget and Chris. So that gives everybody a question again. If you want to go through again, pick from Discern Realities, or just flat out ask a question you want to know. Who, Chris?
what should I be on the lookout for?
Okay.
Because I feel like he feels lost. Like he knows he has to find something here, but I don't really know what.
So it occurs to you that when the griffin bowed its head and let you pass was specifically when Laramie said that he came in peace and meant no harm. So if you did anything that seemed not peaceful or anything that might cause harm, that griffin might come after you. So you should be on the lookout for your actions to make sure you don't anger the watcher.
Gotcha.
Don't piss off Griffin.
Right.
Mental note.
Your question was, what should I be on the lookout for,
Yeah.
Chris?
Now, I can
Yeah.
answer the same question differently for anyone else, but that's specifically for this question at this time. Who else is ready with a question?
I guess I'd be leaning more toward what here isn't what it seems to be. Like, this looks like a dwarven forge, but, I mean, is it secretly something...
A cult?
A cult, maybe?
A Griffin factory?
It's a griffin factory. It made at least one.
Midget wrestling.
That it was so easy to find the forge makes you think that it might not be the thing that you're looking for.
That's a trap.
That's a trap. But let's put it this way. It doesn't answer the question directly, but it gives you something. If all of the stuff that seemed like it was valuable was taken, why weren't any of the tools with the dwarven mark taken? So something that seems out of place.
Maybe because it was guarded by a giant griffin?
Yeah, but all the
Although
other
they were
stuff
able
is
to take
gone.
everything
Yeah.
else.
Bridget, Kurt, Lenore, and Breton.
I said,
any
what
question?
happened here recently?
Oh, okay.
That's a good one.
Like, why is it abandoned?
Okay. Well, if the legends are true, it was abandoned hundreds of years ago.
Okay.
So
well,
this
what happened
wasn't a
here
recent
recently?
dwarven place. So recently, you realize there are other tracks going through this area. And all of the tracks look like very large feet. Like, say you're wearing a size 10, these are like a size 20 shoe. There's something, but they're humanoid footprints. And they only lead in one direction, and it is farther into. They don't lead out to where the bridge was. They lead farther into the volcano, into the wall, into the area.
Shaquille O'Neal is here.
It's a shack attack.
It's a shack attack.
Are these big enough to be like giant footprints, or
Well, put it this way: if it was a giant and had a really hard time getting through these 7-foot tall ceilings and doorways, but
Yeah, that's
it could have been Ronald McDonald, I suppose. But
It's a miniature giant.
clown feet. But something with big feet walked through here recently.
Big feet.
All right,
seems to be
Brett.
continuing along this path?
One more question, if you got one there, Brett.
I don't have the sheet in front of me, but I'm inclined to ask. Can I see the basic
Yeah.
news quick?
Inclined to ask.
Yeah, I guess it would be kind of the who's really in control here question.
Okay. There's a. We'll just lead it right into the next step. You hear a booming voice from deeper in, past where the forge is. There's another hallway that just goes farther in, and you hear a deep booming voice that says, "You do not belong here. I own it now. Leave."
Oh, he's in charge here.
Yeah.
Hello? Dad?
I'm your father now.
It is. I'm your father.
Perhaps we could talk about this.
Reveal yourself.
The answer is, don't make me come out there.
We're gonna make him come
This
out,
is
right?
my home now.
I mean, I guess we'll
Dad?
go in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of want to know if he's with the Griffin.
I mean, we're cool with the Griffin.
So far, yeah.
What if we start trouble with this guy?
Well, maybe if we walk away from the Griffin and toward that voice,
Yeah, that's what you
then
would
we'll be
doing.
away from the Griffin.
Well, let's see.
Okay, so you're going to head that way.
Yeah.
Down that hallway, it takes a slight curve and opens up into a larger room. And standing in the middle of that room is something that shouldn't have been able to fit through to get to where it is now, but some kind of, for lack of a better word, a giant, but not like a 40-foot tall giant, but like a 15-foot tall giant. A semi-giant? Half-giant? I'll say half-giant. And it's just standing there with what is probably a like a two-handed sword, but it's holding it like a short sword or a dagger in its hand. And it says, "This is my home now. Get out." By the way, it oozes evil.
This
So it's like
fella's
dripping.
evil.
Yeah,
But
it's
the
like
Griffin didn't ooze anything,
dripping
No.
evil onto the
Hold
floor.
person, anyone?
right? Yep.
I mean, that seems
You
like
can still
Wait for a
talk to
second.
it, but
I'm going to conjure up a flaming sword.
Let's see which one happens
this
first.
seems to have escalated.
Well, I got to turn it
12.
on before I do anything.
Yeah.
wait.
I got that
yeah,
turned on.
9 of
12.
12.
Yeah, but that's like saying, I got to take out my AK-47
So,
before I can shoot it.
Well, it's like,
I'm holding it.
So yeah, the grip gets up there, and
He can still talk, though.
and it says, "What the hell? Get out of my house!"
We mean you no harm, but you don't
But
seem...
he has a flaming sword, and you just grab my throat.
I can see where that would be
We're
a
just,
little bit
we're
antagonistic.
just trying to find some answers, and you weren't being very nice.
You didn't ask me a question.
You didn't
Do you
give
know
us,
this?
Sucks.
You
you know
didn't give
this
us a
symbol?
chance. You threatened us first.
pull out the gold symbol. You know
Yeah.
this symbol, what it means.
Yes, everyone knows.
Okay, well then could you remind us what it
Is
is?
there anyone else here I could talk to?
My name is Laramie Burnsteel. I'm a paladin of Josiah, a Gojo.
And it tries to back away as soon as it realizes who you are and that you mentioned you're a paladin of Josiah. It can't quite, but it struggles against the hold person to try and back away.
I mean, it's okay. You just calm down. What is your name, sir? Perhaps we could get on a friendly note here.
You could do bad things with my name. I won't tell you.
Like, bad? Like,
Well, of course, you would think they're good things. I would think they're bad.
well,
How about
can-
you tell him your name?
I
He did. His full name.
I start
He did.
with that.
Is
Could
there
I
anyone
sort of...
else I could talk to?
Could I?
You got one left.
Anyone who doesn't have a flaming weapon holding me by my throat or is a paladin.
Could I think of like
Maybe.
what he means by that? Like,
Which part?
like, yeah, I can
could do
do
bad
bad
things.
things with his name.
I
like,
always subscribe to. I like the idea of if you know
You can
true
control.
evil's name, you can do
Control.
bad things to them.
Yeah.
He's evil. If he told you his real name, then
You can control him.
Yeah.
so he's
control
going
his
to be.
soul.
He'll be evasive. I mean, some people
Brett-
call me tiny, but that seems to happen with every
Some
big
people
person.
call me Maurice.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a gangster of love.
I can certainly try to talk to him.
I'm going to ask him what fuels the flames of his desire.
He's definitely intimidated, magically captured, and afraid. You're the only person that hasn't done something bad to him yet.
Yeah.
haven't done
I still want to ask
anything
him
Why
bad.
don't you
to
go
see kind of
park
why
cloud
he's
in
here.
front of him?
Well, let's see what that does.
I don't have to roll for that
right,
one. That's
but,
just what
so,
fuels. He's just going to tell me the truth. Like, what fuels the flames
Yeah.
of his desire?
So he has a he kind of relaxes for a moment, and I wanted to say something like, "I just want a puppy," but no.
I could give him a puppy.
A puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have a reason for him to be here, but it wasn't really what he wanted to be doing. But let me try it anyway, just for kicks. It's not necessarily fueling the flames of his desire, but the thing that drives him right now is it's time for evil to be here.
Oh, he's like prepping the place.
Maybe, but his it sounds more obligatory. He's here because he has to be, not because he.
Oh, right.
He really wants a puppy, but
He would rather
someone's
have-
making him
He
be
would rather
here.
have a puppy. He was actually out giant puppy shopping when he was brought here.
So is the sense that there's a
It's
third
time.
party that wants him here?
Well, it's time. The sense that you get from this is that whole idea of balance, the yin, the yang, the balance within the ancient star symbol, the griffin allowing you by if you're peaceful. This place may seem to change hands between good and evil over the millennia, and he is giving you the indication that it is time for evil to be here.
Now, what if we let him pet Cloud? Would he?
Crunch. Oops.
No.
Eat him.
He's only 15
Does that
feet.
dog taste as good as it looks?
All right, you're evil.
So-
Keeping you held.
Oh, he's evil. I mean, without a doubt, this thing is
So-
evil.
So are you here with the griffin, or was the griffin here already?
The griffin makes sure the balance is maintained.
Ah, okay. So he's not your buddy.
No,
All right.
he's nobody's buddy. There's a nice name for you. Nobody's buddy.
Well, that sounds like a challenge.
I gotta go make friends with Griff.
All right. I mean, this guy is super evil.
Oh, he's evil. He
I
has to
mean-
be.
But maybe he's bringing order to the universe.
He's at least bringing order to Mount Doomas.
I mean, I hate to say it, but like, I don't think that we should let a super evil person hang out in the volcano lair.
I need to be here to finish the weapon.
What weapon do
what
you speak
weapon?
of?
The one I've been instructed to forge.
Who's
And
in-
you notice for the first time he's got all of the scars on his forearms a good blacksmith would have, that he's been burned quite a few times, and that's probably his job.
What weapon are you forging, and who asked you to forge it?
I don't know the name, and he apparently doesn't, but it's almost like he's guided to do this, and he'd rather be puppy shopping. But his job is now to continue to forge the weapon.
Well,
It is his turn.
where is the weapon?
I don't have it.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
waiting for it.
Okay, so you're waiting for it to show up.
Yes.
When's it going to show up?
I can't look at my watch because I can't move. I don't know. I wait.
How long have you been waiting here?
While.
You have any food?
I don't want to talk to you. No, stop.
Grip it tighter.
That's what she said.
Who are you waiting for?
I don't know. I've never done this before. This is new.
That's also what she said.
I just wait for it to show up.
That's what she said.
I think we need a team huddle. Perhaps we'll get him back away from it a little bit.
Well, I have to keep watching him.
Yep, you just hold up that hand.
Yeah,
I've got him.
Keep an eye
All
out
right,
there.
so this guy is super evil.
Okay, bring it in, everybody. Bring it in.
So I think our best case scenario is we tell him to get skedaddle.
I can't hear you. Can you speak up?
That is the idea of a team huddle. You just call him
Quiet,
your
or I'll make you silent, too.
and so either we tell him to get out of here.
Maybe you can tell him to jump off the bridge into the pile of lava.
Well, I mean, I think that's wishful thinking there.
Well,
Also
you
seems
guys
kinda
do
evil.
know that he is completely vulnerable right now and that he cannot react to you until you hit him.
Yeah,
So
I think
if
that's the
someone
secondary
I think I
thing
should
is
might
we
plunge
want
this
to
flaming
just
sword into his chest.
kill him,
I mean,
And then
yeah.
I take his place as the guy that builds the weapon because so I get the information.
I mean, that also seems like something that we might need to talk about later. A later group.
No, like I mean, they show up and I'm like, oh yeah, it's me, whatever.
This
it's
is
me, Mario.
like, this is group huddle, not group therapy.
Well, all right. So are we leaning more towards stabbing this guy? Because we can totally stab this.
So
guy.
how much information?
I
can
think we
get
should
out
give
of
him one chance to leave. He's not going to leave, and then we can stab him.
He's not going to leave. He's drawn to this place.
I know.
He's unwilling to leave.
Well, I mean,
I
right
don't-
now we have him held too. So if we have to undo that to let him leave,
And
he's
also,
probably going to attack.
unless he can shrink, he can't leave anyway. He's too big
Oh,
to get
let's
out
just
the way you guys
let's
got
end
in.
it for him.
How'd he
then.
get in here?
He seems to be unsure. He's been here for a little while, and he's supposed to be waiting for something.
Maybe
It's
he
a thing.
grew up here.
Well, we
Maybe he
can't
could shift
let him
sizes.
make a weapon. We might have to do it.
Okay, I plunge
Well-
my flaming sword into his chest.
All right. Break.
Right.
And go, Joe.
And Gojo. Zoraika.
As you plunge the flaming sword into his chest, he's trying to back away, and he can't. And he sees it coming. It's like slow motion. This large flaming sword gets closer.
Oh, I
and
get real. I
closer.
get as close as I can get. Like wrap
Yep.
around him and just look in his
and
eyes.
and we see the sword plunge into it, and as the sword plunges in, and the half giant starts screaming. As soon as his scream fades, you hear the shrieking, violent, nasty shrieking of the griffin coming in from the forge area, from that hallway area,
Because we've
and that's where we'll end this episode.
upset the balance.
Yeah. So shriek. What's next?
I was really hoping he would be my friend, my Griffin buddy,
I know.
who I would call
He's
Charlie.
really pretty.
Charlie the Griffin.
Charlie the Griffin. Well, on that note, it's a sadness that we will end without Charlie the Griffin as our friend.
Well, maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Well,
It'll
if
be
I
my
turn
goal.
evil, we're good.
In the meantime, we'll wrap this one up and we can all say
Bye-bye. Oh my god, I'm gonna.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.